we shall never know peace. At least when it comes to the WNBA space. It was this ad that Angel put out. And I don't know if this is part of a larger campaign where it's going to be similar themes in similar places, but because of where the WNBA All-Star Game is, and because of who plays on the Indiana Fever in the home city of the WNBA All-Star Game, it's going to raise some eyebrows, let's say.
Angel Reese had it all lined up. The 2025 WNBA All-Star Weekend wasn't just another showcase. It was supposed to be her coronation. A weekend built around her name, her image, her brand. Reebok dropped her first signature shoe, splashed her face across Indianapolis with towering billboards, and rolled out a slick campaign called I'm in Your City. And the city? Caitlin Clark's home turf. On paper, it looked like a power move, but in reality, felt more like a hijacking attempt. Because while Clark was sidelined with an injury, Angel saw a window. With the league's biggest star on the bench, Reese made her move, claiming the spotlight before anyone could stop her. Walk in your trap, take over your trap, she said. But to a lot of fans, it didn't feel like a takeover. Felt like a cheap stunt. Instead of building her moment, she tried to borrow someone else's. No rivalry on the court. No battle of the stars. Just a carefully timed campaign designed to look like dominance. While the real star couldn't even lace up her shoes. Behind the bold ads and catchy slogans, Angel Reese's entire all-star strategy hinged on one thing: Caitlin Clark being there. Reebok didn't just hope Clark would be on the floor, they planned for it. The Angel Reese 1 sneaker was set to debut on the biggest stage with maximum attention, right when Clark was expected to play. Why? Because the only thing more marketable than a new shoe is dropping it in the middle of a rivalry. But that's the catch. There was no rivalry. Reese didn't try to win over fans with performance. She didn't come in to compete or captivate. She came in to orbit. Her entire campaign was built on proximity. Stand close enough to Clark and maybe, just maybe, the spotlight spills over. Even Reebok knew the deal. In a behind-the-scenes moment from the Netflix docuseries Power Moves, Shaquille O'Neal, one of Reebok's biggest names, flat out said it. Angel needed to be fully decked out in Reebok only when she was facing Clark. Translation: her brand only works when Caitlin's in the frame. That's not a marketing strategy. That's clout chasing in a jersey. And when Clark was suddenly ruled out with a groin injury, the entire plan crumbled. The fallout was immediate and brutal. With Caitlin Clark officially ruled out, the buzz around All-Star Weekend evaporated almost overnight. The 2024 All-Star Game, where Clark did play, had pulled in a record-shattering 3.44 million viewers. A cultural moment. A television event. Now fast forward to 2025. Clark's sitting on the bench in street clothes, and ratings nosedived to 2.19 million. That's a staggering 36% drop in just 1 year. In Clark's own city, at an event tailor-made to showcase the league's biggest names, it didn't matter how many billboards you printed or how many influencers you paid. Without Clark on the court, people just didn't care. Ticket prices collapsed. The get-in price for the All-Star Game fell nearly 50%, from $121 down to just $64. That's not a discount, that's desperation. And here's the thing, all the other stars were still there. Aya Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese. It was the most talent the league could possibly assemble. But the numbers didn't lie. It wasn't star power that fans wanted. It was one star. Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA didn't just lose a player, they lost the show. If the ratings were a gut punch, the sneaker launch was a knockout. Angel Reese's long-awaited Reebok debut, the Angel Reese 1, was supposed to be a statement. 2 colorways, flashy names like Diamond Dust and Me Bounds, and a marketing blitz that covered Indianapolis like confetti after a championship. But the moment it dropped, crickets. What was supposed to be a cultural reset felt more like a clearance rack. Social media lit up, not with praise, but with pity. One tweet said, "More photographers than fans at this launch, lol." Another flat out roasted her. She can't even sell her shoe without piggybacking off Caitlin Clark. And if that wasn't bad enough, Some versions of the shoe were reportedly priced at $1,000. $1,000 for a sneaker tied to a player whose All-Star Weekend performance was defined more by marketing than momentum. Fans weren't buying it literally or metaphorically, because when you roll out a signature shoe, you're supposed to have your own identity, your own story, your own gravity. But Angel's launch didn't feel like a moment. It felt like a campaign in search of a reason. No movement, no lines, no buzz, just a loud, empty echo from a rollout that had nothing real behind it. As the weekend unraveled, the spin machine kicked into overdrive. Reebok scrambled to protect their investment. WNBA execs rushed to reframe the narrative. And Angel Reese? She took to social media to drop a subtle but spicy message. This was the most fun I've had in a while, because of the players. All caps. No mention of the fans. No gratitude for the city that had welcomed her. Just a thinly veiled swipe that felt more bitter than celebratory. Meanwhile, the WNBA's PR team pulled off a move that fooled absolutely no one. They started comparing the 2025 All-Star viewership to 2023's number, 850,000 viewers. Not last year's 3.44 million with Caitlin Clark. Not the real benchmark. Just a conveniently low number to make this year's 2.19 million look like a win. But fans saw right through it. This wasn't growth. This was regression dressed up as progress. The truth was simple. Without Clark, the league had slid back into the shadows. Niche interest, mild buzz, empty seats. Even Reebok's own behind-the-scenes footage didn't help. In the Power Moves docuseries, Shaquille O'Neal openly strategized about Angel's relevance only spiking when Caitlin's in the picture. It wasn't even subtle. The whole plan was to attach her to someone else's stardom. Not promote a rising talent. Just surf a wave she didn't create. And that's not just a branding mistake. It's an identity crisis. Angel Reese thought she could copy the results without understanding the blueprint. She saw Caitlin Clark's name trending every week, her Nike Kobe 5 Protos selling out in under a minute, reselling for $600 plus, and assumed that kind of frenzy could be replicated with some bold marketing and a flashy rollout. But here's the truth. Clark's impact isn't manufactured. It's earned. Her fans don't show up because of logos or slogans. They show up because they believe in her, because they've watched her dominate under pressure. Stay humble in the spotlight. Speak honestly in interviews. Deliver over and over again on the court and off. That's what builds loyalty. Clark didn't just get a shoe deal. She got the deal. 8 years. $28 million. Nike's full backing. Not because she asked for it, but because they couldn't afford not to invest. And experts are already projecting that her first true signature shoe, coming in 2026, could generate between $100 and $150 million in revenue. Not from hype. From history. From performance. From connection. And that's what Angel Reese misread completely. Her Reebok release wasn't built on connection. It was built on a borrowed spotlight and a miscalculated attempt to force a moment. The result? A campaign that didn't feel inspiring. It felt empty, because real influence doesn't need a billboard to announce itself. It is the billboard. If the Reebok campaign had any hope left, the internet buried it. Within hours of the All-Star game ending, Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit lit up with memes, side-eyes, and brutal one-liners. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly. WNBA tried to give Angel Reese a Caitlin Clark moment. But you can't Photoshop star power. Another user posted side-by-side images. Angel standing alone at her sneaker drop next to Clark's Nike deal announcement, which nearly crashed Nike's site. The caption? One of them is selling sneakers. The other one's just standing near them. TikTok wasn't any nicer. A soundbite remix of Reese saying, "I don't need her to shine," cut against footage of empty seats and plummeting ratings, racked up over 3 million views in 24 hours. Even some sports analysts got in on it. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith didn't name names, but he dropped this. Some people think media training makes you marketable. Nah, you know what makes you marketable? Being great. The rest is just noise. It wasn't just about the shoe, or the game, or the marketing. It was about authenticity. And fans, especially younger fans, can sniff out a manufactured narrative faster than any PR team can build it. They didn't hate Reese, but they weren't buying the story, because it wasn't real. And in an era where one bad launch can go viral for all the wrong reasons, Reebok and the WNBA didn't just get clapped back. They got ratioed into silence. This wasn't just a failed shoe launch, or a misstep in branding, or a rivalry taken too far. This was a red flag for the WNBA's future, because in their rush to crown a new star, they forgot the one thing that makes a star stick: authenticity. The league tried to manufacture a moment, skipped the build-up, and hoped nobody would notice that the foundation wasn't there. But fans noticed, and they didn't just reject the campaign. They exposed it. Worse, it revealed just how dependent the WNBA has become on one player. Without Caitlin Clark, ratings sank. Buzz faded. Even the biggest weekend of the year felt like filler. And that's a dangerous place to be, when one athlete's absence can tank the entire ecosystem. But here's the part no one wants to say out loud. Angel Reese isn't the villain. She's just the test case. The one the league tried to push into a role before she was ready, before she'd earned the moment. And now, the backlash she's facing isn't just about her. It's about frustration. With the league, with the marketing, with the fake narratives that fans are done pretending to believe. If anything, Reese is now carrying the weight of a system that's broken. A system that chases virality instead of legacy. That bets on billboards instead of building stars. And until that changes, no amount of PR spin, flashy campaigns, or overpriced sneakers will fix it. Because fans don't want stories told to them anymore. They want to believe in them.